101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's the author of the book Danger No Problem, no other than Miss Cindy Fazzi.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome on Book 101 Review, Miss Cindy. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
So my name is Cindy Fazzi. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I immigrated to this country in 1989. I am the author of a two-book series released today by Thomas and Mercer. Book one is called Danger No Problem, and book two is called Sunday or the Highway. Both of them released today. And the series follows a Filipino American bounty hunter named Domingo who looks for the most elusive quarries that you could think of. And he discovers a lot of explosive secrets along the way.
Explosive secret. I like that, Miss Cindy. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Hoping for more and more empowering novels like this to come. Danger no problem is a fascinating and contradictory phrase. It suggests a fearless or reckless attitude. Does this title encapsulate the spirit of your protagonist or the central theme of the novel?
Yes, so Domingo the Bounty Hunter is kick ass, he is wise ass, and but he's also has a lot of empathy. And danger no problem is actually his tagline. It is on his business card. So in the first few pages of the book, you're gonna see he's gonna talk about himself, and somebody reads his business card and it says anywhere, anytime, danger, no problem, which pretty much says everything you need to know about him. He is willing to dive into any kind of case that comes his way, anywhere, anytime, and danger is no problem. It's no big deal for him.
Problem is no big deal, people. I like it. So, how would you describe the genre of Danger No Problem? Does it blend elements of adventure, thriller, comedy, or something else entirely?
It is a thriller. It is also considered crime fiction. It is a bounty hunter trope. It is It is the first novel that features a Filipino American and a brown immigrant bounty hunter. I think that in popular culture, when we think of bounty hunter, we think of a white male bounty hunter, like Dog the Bounty Hunter, who, by the
Yes.
way, is he's very gracious. He reached out to me when he found out I wrote this book. But so Domingo is the first Filipino American and the first brown immigrant bounty hunter in this subgenre, in this trope.
What is enticing incident that throws your main character into the world of danger, and why are they the one person who sees it as no problem?
So in book one, let me talk about book one. In book one, Domingo the Bounty Hunter is looking for the only quarry that has ever eluded him. He is the best in the business. He specializes in catching criminal undocumented immigrants. And by that, I mean undocumented immigrants whose crimes are a lot more serious than just entering the country illegally. We're talking about convicted criminals. And so, but this one time that Domingo takes what he thought was going to be an easy case, it turns out to be one of the hardest. He he ends up having to look for this biracial, undocumented Filipino woman named Monica Reed over a span of almost 20 years, not once, but three times. Now, Monica Reed is overstaying in the United States because she is looking for her American father who doesn't know that she exists. So she has a very good reason to be in the US. Essentially, the book pits a dogged bounty hunter versus a desperate woman in hiding. They are compatriots. They are both in the United States in pursuit of the American dream, but their dreams are on collision course.
Collision indeed, Miss Cindy. No spoilers, please. No spoilers. Okay, so tell us on the protagonist and character. Tell us about your protagonist. What makes them uniquely equipped to handle the dangerous situation they find themselves in?
So Domingo is the protagonist, he's the main character, and the other main character is Monica Reed. So Domingo is essentially every Filipino immigrant I know. If you read the book, I think you're gonna, and if you're an immigrant or if you're a Filipino, I think you're gonna see a little bit of yourself in him. He follows the rules. He works really hard. He is tough. He is very passionate about his job. He has a very strong sense of justice. He has a lot of empathy for immigrants, regardless of status. In fact, throughout the book, Domingo writes um, snippets of his observations, which he hopes to publish into an advised book for immigrants. That is how much he cares about people who are thinking of coming to the United States. And so several chapters in the book would start with first person narrative, and that is Domingo writing about tips on how to become an American, how to assimilate, or how to adjust, fastest, and things like that. So, as to your question, what qualities he has, Domingo is really fearless. He's not only fearless, he also is very curious. He is inherently curious, and therefore he always welcomes a new challenge. He likes to dig into a mystery when he gets a new case. And once he is committed to a case, he is relentless. He's dogged. He's really a dogged bounty hunter.
Miss Cindy, what does the villain or central opposition force in the story represent? How do they challenge the protagonist's core belief that danger is no problem?
Yeah, so without, giving away any spoilers, I would say that when you read Danger No Problem, you would think there are like three characters whom you would be really thinking that, who among these three people is the culprit. And as you read the book, you go along with Domingo as he tries to investigate and, investigate each of these suspects. But I'm not going to give away who the suspect is. What I'm going to say is that you will probably be surprised.
Yes. Surprise! Read it, people, not spoilers. So, on the plot and setting, Miss Cindy, what is the setting for this adventure? Is it gritty urban landscape, a remote wilderness, or a glamorous but precarious international locale? Or how does the setting itself become a character?
Yeah, it is basically an urban setting, but several cities. The book begins in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and then Domingo, as he starts to investigate, he goes to Chicago, goes back to New York. Domingo himself lives in New York City. And guess where? Brooklyn, which is where my husband is from. And then as he investigates, he goes to the West Coast. He goes to Oakland and then San Francisco. So it is the very nature of Domingo's job that he travels a lot. Like at the drop of a hat, he's ready to go. Wherever the lead takes him, he's there.
Hmm. Interesting, Miss Cindy. And how did you structure the plot to balance high stakes, dangerous action sequences with moments of character development, humor, or respite?
Yeah, I learned the hard way to keep all those elements in balance. I wrote this book one a long time ago in 1995, and originally I had written it as a very serious literary novel, and I couldn't sell it. It was getting rejected by every agent and every publisher, every editor that read it, and they said, it is too heavy, it is uncommercial, it is not going to sell. It took me a very long time then to realize um, that I needed to rewrite it. And when I rewrote it from the perspective of a secondary character. At that time, Domingo was just a secondary character, and Monica Reed was the protagonist. But once I rewrote the entire novel from the point of view of Domingo, it became funnier. Not only that, it became a thriller because he is a bounty hunter and he's all about the chase. And so my book organically became a thriller. I sometimes joke that I had accidentally written a thriller. And so once my book became a thriller, it became commercial. And that is when I got a literary agent who then sold the two books at once.
Interesting, Miss Cindy, and congratulations for having two debut books. Hoping for more and more empowering books to come. On the writing process and inspiration, what was the initial idea, a character, a situation, a line of dialogue that sparked the entire novel?
So when I first wrote the very first draft, it really started with the Monica Reed character. As you and I know, there are thousands of Monica Reeds in the Philippines. They are biracial. They usually have an American father. Their father's usually in the military, who would be deployed in the Philippines and stay there for a few years. And they sometimes end up with children and then they leave the country. And so it was really the character of Monica Reed that sparked this novel because I felt that it is a kind of story that more Americans should be aware of. Obviously, in the Philippines, we know about this biracial children, but not so much in the United States. And so it was the Monica Reed character that started this novel. But again, I wrote it and I couldn't sell it. And so I had to adapt and I had to rewrite it. And then it became Domingo's character, or rather, Domingo's novel. The Domingo character was inspired by a article I read in the New York Times about a real bounty hunter in New York who specialized in catching undocumented immigrants, criminal undocumented immigrants. He was not Filipino. I believe he was Latino, but to me, that really fascinated me because I didn't realize that bounty hunters specialized. And then it so happened that I was writing this novel and I realized that I could use that kind of character. And that was the inspiration for Domingo the Bounty Hunter.
Miss Cindy, as a debut author, what are your short term and long term goals?
Um, so actually, this is not my debut novel. It's my debut series. Previously, I have written two other novels, and but I feel like I'm still about to break through. I'm still about to break out. So, short term goal is to hopefully introduce Domingo the Bounty Hunter, the first Filipino bounty hunter in a novel, to more mainstream readers, especially here in the United States. That is the short term goal. Long term goal, hopefully, is for me to write, if not more Domingo books, then more Filipino American themed books. The primary reason that I am a novelist today is to hopefully add to the Filipino American literature. I really would like to introduce more Filipino American characters in American novels because there are very few of them at the moment.
Well, good luck to your goals, Miss Cindy, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be an author like you?
The best thing you can do is start right now. If you haven't started writing, you should start writing now. I mean, to be a writer, all you have to do is write. And it is easier said than done. I have met a lot of people who tell me, oh, I would like to write this book and that book, but they don't actually write it. And that is the thing with being a writer. It's really, you have to sit down and face that blank screen and just start writing. You have to do it. You have to do it often. I write every single day, year round, and that's how it is. And if you can start getting published, writing a book is really hard. You're talking 300 pages of a manuscript. It is hard to sell it. Yeah, and so my advice is if you could start with short stories, which is also how I started. I didn't write a lot of short stories, but each short story of mine that got published was a validation. It gave me that permission to write the longer version, to write 300 pages. If I could get published with my 10-page short story, then I felt that I would be able to publish the 300-page manuscript. So that is my advice. Start now, start writing right now. If you could start with short stories, all the better. And then just keep on working on your novel.
Thank you for that advice, Miss Cindy. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Um, I would like to recommend another Filipino American author. His name is Leslie Tenorio. And the book is called Son of Good Fortune. It is also about immigration. It's about an undocumented mother and son, and it's wonderful. It's really beautifully written. Plus, he's our kababayan, so I think that a lot of Filipinos would love that book. So that's one. In terms of the thriller genre, I am a very classic reader in the sense that I love Patricia Highsmith, who wrote Strangers on the Train. Um, I love wrote Devil in a Blue Dress, and he is so prolific. He has so many books. Basically, pick any Walter Mosley book, and I think that you will be satisfied.
Thank you for that recommended books, Miss Cindy. And tell us, amidst of all action and danger, what is the core human relationship or emotional journey that grounds the story?
So yeah, one reviewer told me that he was surprised to see that Danger No Problem specifically is actually a love story, which also surprised me. But I think you could look at it that way without giving away so much. Remember, I have this female protagonist, Monica Reed, and I have the male protagonist, Domingo the Bounty Hunter, and he has been looking for her three different times in a span of almost 20 years. So imagine that kind of impact that she has on him. Um, and so there's definitely a lot of attachment. And so there's that synergy and chemistry between the two of them that develops without really being the focus of the book, but it is there, it is underlying. And so, in as much as he wants to catch her because it is his job, he has a lot of empathy for her.
Interesting indeed, Miss Cindy. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my Law 101 and Mental Health 101 are my baby podcasts. Love Letters in third season, and my movie 101 review and music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first
Mm.
season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Cindy, what is the primary feeling or thought you hope readers are left with after they turn the final page?
um Hopefully my primary goal, hopefully, that I'd achieve with this book is for more readers to just be acquainted and get to know Filipino American characters, Filipino culture. But also, I'm hoping that they would get a glimpse of the most common struggles and aspirations of recent immigrants, regardless of status. So, we read about undocumented immigrants and about immigration in the newspapers, and we watch it on TV. We hear about the statistics. 5,000 undocumented immigrants have been rounded up in all these cities. But those are just facts. Hopefully, in my novel, the readers would get a feel for the human factor about the immigration issues that unfortunately we are living right at this moment. It is a very timely topic.
Indeed, a timely topic in the United States. Miss Cindy Fazzi, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your series itself or all the books that you had?
Um, yes, please give it a chance. I think you'll like Domingo the Bounty Hunter. Check out my website at cindyfazzi.com and you'll get more information about my books there.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Cindy Fazzi because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Miss Cindy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
More to come, people. See you soon.
Bye.